Hey Taurus, welcome back to Distilled Tarot. My name's Shannon. I'll be guiding you through this month's reading. This is going to be for the month of September 2022. Let's see what's going on with Taurus. At the heart of your reading, we have the Eight of Cups and the Lovers. Okay. Someone is either debating walking away from a relationship or has decided to do so, or walking away from something else toward a relationship. There's some sort of sacrifice, emotional sacrifice that needs to take place, but it doesn't feel like a difficult decision. It feels like an easy decision. Maybe not so easy to implement the decision, but it feels like the decision was relatively clear. Maybe clear is a better word than easy. What's the challenge here? Knight of Cups. The challenge is going for it. The challenge is going after what's truly in your heart. Letting your heart lead the way and acting on your feelings. What are we focused on, Taurus? What's the focus? What has your attention? The Nine of Cups. I just want my wishes to come true. I just want to be maximally happy. Yeah, I want to maximize happiness. A Page of Pentacles reversed at the bottom of the deck tells me you've learned something, or you feel like you've learned enough lessons in a certain arena. Let's say romantic love, most likely, is what we're talking about here. Although, the Lovers doesn't have to mean romantic love. It just means a commitment to something that you love, a choice to commit to something in love. But this Nine of Cups has me feeling like you're almost like, I want exactly what I want or nothing. It's like all or nothing, sort of. And I'm not sure you're aware that you're kind of putting the energy toward the situation in that way, that you're framing it that way. It definitely could be healthy. It feels quite skewed towards like, I want it exactly the way that I'm envisioning it, or not at all. So we'll see what else comes out, but I just feel like maybe a caution is in order. That, like, wouldn't you be tremendously happier than you are now, even if you achieved 80% of what you want exactly? Or to put it more loosely, what if something slightly different or totally different would make you even happier? So it's the walking away from whatever is kind of occupying your emotional energy at the moment is the pivot. And of course you're walking towards something. Hold space for the possibility that something even better could fill that space that you're creating in your life. That would be my only caution. Don't take your eye off the prize, because that's an important part of what you're doing and the path you're walking. But be careful to kind of solidify it so exactly in your mind that you would not perceive anything else as right for you. Does that make sense? Show me what led up to this in the recent past. King of Pentacles. You're feeling much more confident in terms of either your job or your money. You might, this could be entrepreneurial energy. It could be you're wanting to start your own business, or because you've started your own business, you now feel sovereign enough, independent enough, accomplished enough, whatever this enough in your mind is, for you to go after the next thing in life, which looks like probably romantic love. Or this could be one and the same story. Like, I have decided to start my own business or become independently employed, and I'm going to be committing to doing something that I love. That is going to take me walking away from my corporate job, and the challenge is acting on what I love. You're really focused on, I think it can be perfect if I do this. Also, I'm getting that part of this Nine of Cups energy for a lot of you is making lists of what your goals are. Like, what is the end game for you, or what is like the end of this portion of the road? You want to define it so that you have a goal to work toward. And that feels very good, very positive, very healthy. Okay, let's look at the energy of your environment. How is Spirit using your environment to nudge you in the right direction? We have the Seven of Wands. So this is either your boundaries being ignored, or sorry, I'm laughing because my dog just started snoring. Sorry. This is either your boundaries being ignored, or what's the other word I'm looking for? Like, trampled over, disrespected. Like, in order to reinforce boundaries or create stronger boundaries in places where you've been somewhat lax about allowing people to have access to you, there's an upgrade in your life with the World here at the bottom of the deck that is going to, or has the potential to, materialize or manifest because of boundaries that are being set. Now, it is entirely possible that you are going to find yourself on the other side of someone else's boundaries that they are enforcing. And this is going to be consequential in how this plays out for you toward the positive for you. So watch out for that. If you see that happening, look for how it benefits your situation. If it feels like rejection, try to reframe it and see, oh, maybe me trying to get toward this thing that is now, they're kind of, whatever the thing is blocking me from accessing it. Maybe I need to adjust my approach. And that adjustment is going to help the way you approach that sort of thing moving forward. That's going to really be an advantage for you. Could be a sales technique. Could be a, it feels like a softening. It feels like fine-tuning something that could be perceived as aggressive by other people. That's not going to be for all of you because it's pretty specific. And again, for a lot of you, it's not someone else's boundary that's going to result in a improvement for you. It's going to be you setting a boundary. You're going to be prompted to set the boundary by a challenge or a problem that's cropping up. More likely than not. Like, something's going to irritate you and you're going to say, okay, no more, I'm not tolerating this anymore. Here's where I draw the line. You need to respect it. Let's see what comes next. Oh, Ace of Cups. Okay, so a new opportunity in love. Either you are going to be able to reach out the way that you feel and express that, or interesting, I'm getting invitation. You might be receiving an invitation, but for most of you, I feel like you're the one who's going to extend an invitation. possibly multiple invitations. You might have some sort of an event planned, because I'm just getting the impression of like putting a lot of leads out. No, that's not the right word, but like feelers out. Nope, that's not the right word either. Let's use like fishing line as an analogy. If you're fishing, it's like you've got 100 fishing lines out and you want all of them to catch so that you can kind of bring what you want to you to some sort of an event. So it goes beyond invitation. And again, I know that's very specific, so if that doesn't apply to you, the more general sense of the Ace of Cups is a new opportunity coming in, or you being able to finally make some sort of offer to someone else based on something that's very emotionally important to you. If this is romantic, I feel it likely that you are going to be able to, okay, take a trip. Yeah. And I'm feeling that because the surprise energy and the card at the bottom of the deck when that came out are two cards that demonstrate or resonate with travel energy. So we've got the World and the Fool. So either this undertaking has to do with traveling, or you will be traveling to whatever it is you want. Maybe moving. Going on some sort of an adventure. And that could have to do with the invitation. But moreover, the World energy talks about, like we said earlier when it showed its face at the bottom of the deck, this sort of threshold into a new chapter of your life. Like putting the past behind you and kind of tying it up with a nice neat little bow and putting it on the shelf, and that's that for that chapter of your life. You're starting a whole fresh new chapter, and whatever it is that you're leaving in the past, you will have the opportunity to leave it in the past. Like you'd have to go through a lot of effort to try and revive anything from this chapter that you're closing out, if you ever wanted to. I think you already know that you're on the way to this fresh new chapter. The surprise element has to do with how much of how much of a change it is in the new environment. So I think the easiest analogy the simplest analogy I can think of is like and now I can't even think how to say it. It has to do with fish and ponds. So if you're in like a small body of water and you're a fish, you might be the biggest fish in that pond, but then you find your way into a larger body of water and you realize, oh, I'm not the biggest fish around anymore. I have room to grow. But that initial reaction is a little bit like, how do I interact with this environment? I'm used to being the kind of top of the hill, the big dog, the big fish, the one that everyone else is afraid of or looks up to, or the one that knows the whole territory. Like I've been the boss. Now I'm starting fresh in this new environment. So the exciting part is, look how much upwards potential there is. But that's also the scary part, because now there's growth to do. Growth can be scary. Feeling uncertain of what comes next can flavor the excitement. Your hopes and fears, we have the Two of Cups in reverse. What if I commit to something and the other party or parties don't commit to me? What if they let me down? What if I let them down? What if this commitment fails? What if I don't actually want it once I'm in it? There's all these sorts of, the unknown factors of being in the new environment. You definitely want it, but part of you is pulling you. No, that's not the right word. Your fear is creating a buffer between you and what you want. Self-preservation. There's some sort of your emotional self that you're keeping private. You're stealing it away. You're reserving it and not fully giving of yourself emotionally. And I'm going to not comment further until we get the rest of the cards out, because I'm not sensing that that's necessarily an approach that warrants adjustment. I would say just be careful if you are doing so out of fear, because fear-based choices are rarely the best choice. Show me the end result. How do these energies resolve for Taurus? Okay, so those of you who've been watching my channel for a while know that I do this certain thing with the last two positions of this modified Celtic cross spread that I do. If the Ace of Swords shows up in one of the last two positions, I interpret it as normal, and on top of that, I believe that it's meant to be an opportunity for you to get an answer to a yes or no question. So we do have the Ace of Swords as the final outcome. So if you'd like to pause the video now and come up with a yes or no question as it relates to, well, I'd say as it relates to this topic, but I suppose you could use it for any topic. So I'm going to reveal the placement of, or the position of it now. So we have it in the upright. So the Ace of Swords in the upright means a yes for your yes or no question. Beyond that, within the context of this spread for the end result position, this demonstrates clarity, a victory, feeling like you're armed with the truth. It definitely bodes well for a sense of confidence and certainty. I also feel like it's relating to this offer or this invitation, that the answer to the offer or the invitation will be yes. Let's get you some advice. How can Taurus work with these energies for their highest and best good? Rebel. The Hierophant in reverse says you will have opportunities to go against the grain, to work outside of the status quo, outside of the normal modes of operation that will be more advantageous to you. If you just do things the way that they've always been done, the way everyone else does them, sure, you could find success. But if you want to tweak it, like optimize your outcome, look for the ways that you can reinvent the wheel. Look for the ways that you can rebel against the established way of doing things. Some of you may even be like organizing some sort of demonstration or activism, like literally rebelling against the establishment. But I think it's much more like small scale for most of you in terms of what this reading is talking about. So something more personal to you and your life and this undertaking. It doesn't say throw the script out the window, but look for the specific way or ways that you might be hitting roadblocks because you're trying to follow like an established set of actions that is proven successful by other people, whereas you feel like, this way doesn't work for me. It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel right. What's a different way I could do it? Or I always thought it would be better to do it this way, but that's just not the way people do it. Like, don't question yourself. If you've been thinking that, this is definitely advocating for you to try the new approach. Turn it on its head and see if you can be the first one to forge that new path. I think it will help propel you beyond your competition, if there is competition. All right, Taurus, I hope you have a great month, and I'll see you back in October. Bye.